Hey YouTubers, this is number 6 in a series on 2017 lawyers. You're going to interact with lawyers better communication, because you're going to know concepts going in there, and so you're going to take advantage of that 20 minutes. You're going to try to squeeze 30 minutes out of that lawyer. You're going to be happy to talk to them because they're going to be somewhat prepared. They've watched this tape. They've listened to Guardian Mike. They've discussed it, and Seppi's given them links. And so here we're going to talk about powers of attorney. When you go in and talk to your lawyer, you're going to be able to discuss with him the different types of powers of attorney. Now, this is in a series 2017 lawyers, and I threaten to put together a series just on powers of attorney that will help. So what I want to say to you is the level of information here presumes no preparation, and it's very simple level. Okay, so I want you to think in terms of making decisions, and you make decisions for yourself. I make decisions for myself. What happens if there comes a time when I can no longer make decisions? And the two big, doesn't have to be, but the two big areas, two wings of the butterfly, are medical decisions and financial decisions. And it gets into the question of appointing agents. So I'm going to make this very simple for you, and we'll come back to powers of attorney for medical and powers of attorney for financial. But I want to go fishing. I like to fish. So I say to Seppi, Seppi, and I'm going to talk about powers within there. I want to talk about authority. I say to Seppi, I'm going to go up north fishing, and I'm going to, I want you to pay the women in the office, and I want you to pay them $1, and they're supposed to, for every hour they work, and they're supposed to work 40 hours, so here's $40 for Susie. There's no interpretation here. She's got $1, they're going to be 40 hours, and she just gets and either writes the check or gets in her back pocket and gives the person the $40. So I've given Seppi verbally the authority, given her the money. She's my agent. I'm up north. I'm fishing. And she's going to act as my agent. She has no discretion. She can't give $42. She can't give $39. No discretion. She's to simply do an act that I can't do because I'm not going to be here. So that is no discretion. Now I'm going to take you to the next level. I want you to understand this concept. I'm up north fishing, and I come home, and I'm going to go back up, and I think, man, the fish are biting, and I'm going to go back for another week. But you know what? I say to Seppi, if the fish are biting, I'm going to say an extra week. So I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to give them $1 for every hour they work, and they may work more than 40, they may work only 30. And if it's busy and they work 60, give them $1 for every hour, but you're going to have some discretion, and you're going to have to calculate. So at the end of that week, if they work on Saturday, at the end of that week, I want you to sit down with them, and they will tell you how long they worked, and you're going to multiply it. So if they work 60 hours, you're going to multiply it by 1, because they're going to get $1 a week. I'm going to be generous. It used to be 50 cents. That's a joke. So they're going to get $1 for every hour they work, and you're going to calculate it. And you know what? Here's either a bag of money, or here is my checkbook. And I'm writing out this document short, 1 page. I, Guardian Mike, convey to Seppi, appoint her as my agent for the limited purpose of using this checkbook to do the payroll in the first week of this month, 2017, because I'm having a good time fishing. Now, with that's an agency relationship. I've authorized her with some discretion, and so I'm up north fishing. She's got my checkbook. I take her down to Chase Bank, and I say, here's the situation. Seppi's going to write these checks. She's got limited discretion. The check should never go over $100. Ain't nobody going to be working 100 hours a week, and shouldn't go below 30, because they better be working at least 30 hours. So between 30 hours and 100 hours, Seppi has the discretion to write that check. So she's my agent under my power of attorney for a limited purpose with limited discretion, and she's going to do the addition and subtraction. Got that? So someone's going to come in and say, Seppi, I work 55 hours. She'll write that check out for 55. And Chase is good with that because we've followed all their rules, which presume. Someone says I did 35. She has to calculate, does 35. Someone says I did 59. She writes that check out for 59. First example, no discretion. Second example, some discretion. All your powers will have these choices in there. The third category is the most discretion. Now I want you to freeze frame that. I'm going to go into this, but I'm going to step back and we'll take another look at this discretion in terms of financial powers of attorney and medical. So right now we're talking the concept of no discretion, middle discretion, some discretion, and then some very almost complete discretion. So I say to Seppi, hey, man, that's very good fishing. I really like it, and I got a cabin that I can stay in for a month. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to reform all of that. I'm going to do a new power of attorney. I go down to Chase and I say, listen, I really like it up there. My blood pressure's down. Everything's cool. I want Seppi to write the checks. But you know what? She's got my checkbook. She can write whatever she needs to. And Seppi, I want you to get me my best deal. They're going to want $1, and they're only going to work 60 hours. I want you to get as much work out of them as you can. And if you can, try to get them to 50 cents. You negotiate the best deal I can have. So I authorize her in my powers. I say, I appoint Seppi as my agent with absolute discretion, or there's other terms, to make decisions about the bank account ABC number at ABC Bank, Chase Bank, number 123456. And this account has $1,000 in it, and she can do with it whatever she wants to as long as she directs it towards the payroll. Now, Seppi, get over there and wheel and deal for me. I need you to get me my best deal. I've had to pay him $1 in the past. I want you to see if you can offer him 25 cents. Now she's got some discretion. She knows what she's going to be doing, and she's excited, and I'll tell her, I'll give you 10% for every dollar you save. She's motivated. She's going to go at it. I want to illustrate for you in a silly way, but you'll remember it. No discretion, some discretion, almost absolute discretion. Got that? Let's back out of that a little bit. There are financial powers of attorney. Remember me talking about that? You're going to have no discretion, some discretion, and maximum discretion. Financial powers. Well, let's talk about the medical, okay? There are medical durable powers of attorney. But there is also something called a patient advocate designation. I just want you to understand the concept. I'm forming your mind. I'm not trying to stuff you with knowledge. I'm trying to form your mind to these concepts because they'll change from state to state, country to country. Now, I can give Seppi a power of attorney that says do A, B, and C medically. Okay, you can get my blood tested. You can change my bed. You can get the laundry done. You can give me vitamins. Here's a list of 52 items. That's kind of a limited power of attorney. Then I can go and give her the middle thing and go from 50 to 150 and say, when I'm thirsty, get me water. I give her a little bit of discretion. And then I can give her a lot more discretion by saying you can do these 200 things. And Seppi, you can give me water when I'm thirsty, and you give me some food when I'm hungry. A little bit more discretion. But I want you to understand this concept. In medical, it really doesn't work because when I'm incapacitated and that power of attorney is limited or interpreted to be limited, guess what you're going to do? It's broken. It's not robust. You go to court, get a guardian, get a conservator. You're in court dealing with lawyers. So you want to talk to your lawyer in terms of the level of trust you have, particularly on your medical, and do you want to give them, and you say to your spouse or your kids, the lawyer, you tell the lawyer, look, I kind of trust these people. I know them. It's a wild world out there, but these kids have been my kids all my life, and I've been married 52 years. They know me spiritually. They know my emotions. And so can't I just transfer to them the authority to advocate for me? They know what I want, and I can say, listen, you make these decisions, and if I'm in a permanent vegetative state, brain dead, you can pull the plug, and you can withhold medical treatment. Don't put him on the ventilator. Take him off the ventilator, and also make medical decisions where you take him off the ventilator that could end with death. In Michigan, that's what a patient advocate designation is. So let me repeat that. It is silly when it comes to finances. Okay, we kind of know about that, but we can crank that up too and get it more advanced. But I want you to discuss with your lawyer these basic concepts. A medical durable power of attorney is going to allow someone to make medical decisions. You can give them a little discretion. You can give them moderate discretion or maximum discretion. That's a medical durable power of attorney, and it has to do with medical decisions. There are medical decisions that are going to have to do with obtaining treatment. There are medical decisions about withholding treatment. Don't put mom or dad on don't put mom and dad on a ventilator. Don't start their heart. Don't start them breathing when they stop. That's a medical decision. There's a third category. So there's medical decisions that have to do with no treatment, get me treatment, or pull me off treatment. Got that? You slow that down. For our purposes, 3 categories of medical decisions. The decision to seek and obtain treatment, put mom on a ventilator, the authority to the medical decision where you're saying withhold, don't put mom on a ventilator, and the third category of decisions where you're withdrawing medical treatment, take mom off a ventilator. Durable power of attorney will handle that, but there's a fourth decision, conceptually. It's where you make the first 1, 2, 3 decisions that could end in death. The patient advocate designation in Michigan is where you give to your loved ones, you give to them the authority to advocate for you in these discretionary areas where you can obtain treatment, withhold treatment, take someone off treatment when it could end in death. And you don't necessarily need an attorney for that. It's very spiritual, it's very emotional, and the lawyers and the judges, the history of the legislation is that, listen, we let the family handle that. You can go to michigan.gov and take a look and see and try to obtain the patient advocate designation, which is a medical durable power of attorney. And you can see where the state of Michigan has written the terms of that, and it's tried to anticipate that. But again, I have 2 choices when I do these tapes. Can I form your mind to think in a way to approach the lawyer so that when you interact, the lawyer can see clearly what your problem is? You've listened to some of these tapes and begin to understand and think in a different way, even though you don't have the verbiage, the right words. You don't need the right words. And there's 2 thoughts when you're teaching. Do I form the mind so that you have the ability to solve problems when you see them, or do I just throw out 4 volumes of Quo Vadis, 10,000 words? You're not going to remember that. You're not going to say the right thing. But you got an idea about joining, reaching out for resources, individuals that can help you. And you're talking about death and dying, and that's what that patient advocate designation is. That's when we talk about powers of attorney to make decisions. And when you become incapacitated, you want somebody to continue in business. How do you want to do that? You want to have always your exit strategy when you have diminished capacity, and in these powers of attorney, how you want to talk to your lawyer when someone is acting for me, how do I ensure myself that they don't rob me? Well, the absolute standard would be to go to court and get the money supervised by the court with a guardian, with a conservatorship in Michigan, guardianship of the estate and others. That's the absolute standard, and you bond the individual or you restrict them from access, and they constantly are supervised by the court. Absolute standard. Is there a way to stay out of court? And the professionalism of the lawyers is to try to use the least restrictive means in your life that will work and give you protection. And you're constantly balancing the dignity of risk versus the control that the state wants to come and intrude into your life. And that's probably a bad word, intrude into your life, but that's how I'm trained. That, look, private, you have your right to privacy. You want to solve your own problems. There's a certain dignity of risk. And so you want to use these tools such as powers of attorney, and can you shift the risk of loss in such a way that you could have somebody watching them, you could have them account to a CPA, you could have them a bonding agent, you could talk to somebody, can we get this person insured, can we lock up money into an insurance product. There are many ways to talk to your lawyer about what are the tools so that I can have my niece or nephew or my child handle my money and pay my bills. And you might want to have a professional fiduciary like a bank take care of this. But the point is that powers of attorney are there. There's financial and there's medical. Big picture. I hope that's helpful. I went way beyond my time limit on that, but I felt that we were getting into some areas that might be helpful to you.